Homies, little big robots with the video for you. Look at this. I got another 30 minutes missions kit. This one just came out. I just got it in pre-order. I should say I get all my pre-orders for most of my stuff like that I get at Gunzo, which is a fantastic Gun Plus shop here in San Diego. You can actually order from them, gunzo.com, I think it is. I'll link it in the description. This is a new 30 minutes missions kit. If you don't know, 30 minutes missions should take you about 30 minutes to complete these, and I found that's pretty much true. But also it kind of, excuse me, is mentioning the 30 meter adapter hole thingy, which I'll show here real quick. All these are meant to it's just basically supposed to be a universal system to where you can throw things together and have lots of fun and da-da-da-da. And the standard hole size is 30 millimeters. In Gunpla, over the years, they've gotten better about standardizing them now, but over the years, Gunpla has had so many different sizes of stuff that now they're going for, they just want people to be able to take any random two kits from certain scales, from the same scale, basically, in Gunpla and in 30 minutes missions, and be able to, stick stuff together. Interesting design. This stuff I'm not really, I think it's kind of interesting. It's like a cockpit. I've seen a few now that you can actually see that little cockpit, the actual size of what it would be if a person, there was like a little pilot in there. That'll give you an idea. That's 1/144 scale, so you got a person in there, gives you an idea on size. There's not a lot of surprising additional design stuff in here. The piping is nice. I really like the piping. The two different heads they give you are nice. Let me see here. So here's one. And again, I build these really fast, so if you see nub marks and stuff, that's because I go really fast. Because I'm trying to build them, just straight build them and let you decide if that looks horrible or not. But as you can see, even with straight built, you don't get a lot of nub marks. I prefer this head, but it's a bit, what's that? Zoc? I can't remember the Zaku has the one little thing in the middle. But the face itself is pretty cool. You actually have like a green plastic in the eyes there, so it gives it some depth. This mono eye is fine, but you can see how it's kind of just sitting there. This is kind of cool. It's got the two eyes. So I'm guessing that's the cockpit. Of course, the point of these is that you can take everything apart really easily. So you can just take that right off, like that, and add anything you want. Now, again, like I said, it's supposed to be a 30 millimeter hole. All of it's 30 millimeters, so you can stick random stuff in there. Let's see. They give you a whole bunch of this, which I didn't even really mess with this. It's like an extension arm. So that's a really handy part. You could take almost anything. There's not really anything with just a single hole, but you get the point. You get the point. So that does attach in there. You can actually take it off and do some random stuff with it. What I like about these 30 minutes missions kits as well is all this is English. That'll give you a little bit of some of the lore. It has tons of little details, little options, ideas and stuff. So they're really, really cool. I mean, they pack so much into these instruction manuals now. It's just wild. I love this one page though. It's just one page instructions, literally. So if you built these before, the ease that there is to build these things is great, but it also makes them a bit boring here and there because you're kind of doing the same build every time. But at the same time, this makes it really, really easy to get into. Again, you have an explanation in English, which is great, not just Japanese. Gives you some ideas for building. So if you wanted to do the big instructions and follow them like normal, you got the whole giant booklet there. Gives you a listing of all the parts in case you're missing anything. Gives you some tips, basic building tips. I can't hold that up. Excuse me. Giving you some ideas how to fit them together. So these are absolutely great for beginners. 30 minutes missions is one of the best things for beginners. So that gives you some idea on the posing you can do. I don't do all the posing stuff. These new kits, trust me, anything you can think almost that you want them to do, they can do. These shoulders, I'm getting sick of this design. This is one of the ones I'm really kind of getting tired of. It's a basic shoulder, right? So you have a shoulder armor, and then you just put this piece in there, and it snaps in there, which is fine, and then it snaps into the shoulder area. There are other kits where they'll give you a new, this little bit will be different, and that will be shortened. So if you wanted to use it just like this, like that, they'll give you the part to leave that gap out. It might even be in here, I haven't checked. Because that shoulder is, I'm over this kind of design for Gunpla kits. It's just kind of, it's been done, it's kind of boring. I'd rather have something look a little bit less stylized and a little bit more realistic. These feet are interesting. I've noticed they've done a few of these type of feet. What's interesting about these is they are, you know, something that would distribute the weight nicely. So I like that. I can appreciate that. But at the same time, these are so thin. I'd rather them just try to make good old giant mecha feet. The waists are always really nice in these. You get a good crunch and it's interesting, but they're so thin. It's such a thin part, and it can kind of look shoddy. You can actually see the ball joint there in the middle, so it looks a little bit shoddy. But other than that, the design is really cool. I mean, it's not my favorite style. I don't like this kind of like samurai or whatever, you know, this kind of armor looking stuff is. But the advantage of 30 minutes missions is that you can do almost anything you can imagine with them. You can really pull these apart. Here's the backpack that came with it. The backpack is pretty cool. All of their backpacks and additional stuff, like this flying packs and stuff, are cool. The only issue is sometimes they're a little flimsy because they're literally just held in with a peg into the 30mm hole. You see that? That's what I was referencing earlier. Is all these little holes you see, you can just plug whatever you want into them. And so you know, you make armor, you can do whatever you want. So it's for someone like me who loves modular toys more than anything, meaning toys that you can just swap out parts. That's fantastic, but it can lead to some flimsy like backpacks and stuff that have, you know, extension arms and stuff like that. But I've noticed that the tension in these things is usually pretty good. They usually have really good poly caps and stuff, which are the little rubber bits that hold stuff together. So this guy just goes, I think, like this. I'm not sure what these are. I haven't looked into all the different options, but of course you can pull those off really quick. And I think that's actually really cool. I like the flying backpacks like this where it looks almost weight appropriate, like that could almost work. Of course, they can adjust, which means you can use those for other stuff, other kits, which is really cool. You can adjust them in all sorts of ways. It's just a really, for lack of a better term, a simple lineup of kits where you can just take this stuff, pull it apart. Like I don't like this here, this codpiece armor, you know, the front armor. It's just too much. I would probably replace that with, oh, you could replace it with this, maybe. Oh, look, that doesn't fit in there because it needs to go on the peg. Let's see, what could you replace it with? Oh, one of these, there you go. There, just throw that on the side. Will it go? There you go. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, you see what I mean? So you can actually reverse these two. You could put this piece on the front instead. You know, some people might like that. I don't. But, you know, so again, this is not my favorite type of design. It's a little too thin. That's reserved, I think, for smaller bots, where if you had a giant bot, to me, that little thinness would just be too little to hold up the weight. But it does look really slick. It does these really, really cool poses. You can see, I mean, you can lay him down flat practically. You can make him do a, you know, screaming guy on the beach. What was that guy, that meme of the guy on the beach and he's falling down and he's crying and stuff? You know, you can do those memes. You can do whatever you want. You can put him in yoga poses. You know, you can sit cross-legged like that or whatever. See, there you go, cross-legged. Almost cross-legged. But, you know, it's just, these are just fun to play with. I tend to put mine on the shelf, but I'll always take down one or two, and I'll just sit there and I'll just messing with it. I have a whole bucket. Let's see, I should say a couple buckets, parts. Here's my number. Anyway, I have just a whole box of random parts. So if you're to sit down with these things and just play with them, you can get some really, really cool looks. The model head is pretty cool though. So yeah, I mean, I like the new piping. I like some of the new design elements. 30 minutes missions tends to move a little bit slowly, and they don't have a ton of really crazy designs. They're really mostly going for these bots, or they just do kind of an innovation on this same frame kind of look. So that's unfortunate, but at the same time, that's the point of the line, is that you can take those, and if you don't like it, you can literally just throw stuff together until you find something cool. I want them to do more simple, basic, chunky robots. The really ninja piratey stuff is not my vibe, especially for what it should be a giant robot. I want them to get back to just doing a really scary looking mecha. And there's a few of those in there, but again, at the same time, I understand a lot of people like this look and design. You can see how thin the legs can look, so you got to be aware of that. But again, it's, you know, it's meant more, they err on the side of being flexible for customization instead of really accurate or kind of realistic, you know, waist and stuff. So anyway, thought you guys, gals, and others would like to see that. It's a great kit. I don't know what Verdenova means. Verde is green, right? So maybe that's what, I don't know if this is real language or not. I know that it's like naming a car. They just come up with random terms, and maybe that's Spanish or something. I don't know. Let me know. Fantastic. Lots of fun. It just came out. Go get it if you can. And go to Gunzo's site to buy. They're a really good site. So have a good one, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.